Welcome to this first look map tour on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. Right then, new mod map. This is, I need to get this right, this is LANDSCAPE Midland. This is by Dark Freak. This is an interesting one. I like this. Now I'll be honest with you, I haven't travelled much across Europe, but I've seen a lot of different television programs and documentaries and things like that. There's non-specific on the Modhub as to whereabouts it is. I have had a quick whiz round already. This is a normal sized map, but it really gives the impression of being quite large. Let's have a look in the map screen. Now, a lot of it is all focused predominantly on the left-hand side of what we would be considering the usual map square, but this is the map itself. We've got a river that runs right the way, pretty much up the middle of the map, fairly up the middle of the map, and we start just over here to the right-hand side, towards the eastern edge of the map, at the main farm. Now, I have checked this today. I didn't on Woodshire and a couple of the other maps. I'm on New Farmer, which means you've got everything. I've checked it on Farm Manager and I've checked it on Start from Scratch, and you start with nothing at all. Now, it does say as well in the Modhub that to have this map installed, you do need to have the Composite Machine Sheds pack by Vertex Designs. Now, when I loaded this up and downloaded the map, it automatically installed that mod as well for me, so I didn't have to go searching for it. It did it automatically. So anyway, we've got a lot going on. If I go across one, we've got quite a few sale points. We've got Agraria, Cooperative, Country Trade, Dairy, we've got the Grain Mill, Harbour, MGE, Sawmill, West Ag, and Wool Sale. I'm assuming, actually, I haven't scrolled across here. Wool Sale will do cotton as well, won't it? Yes, it will. Fantastic. Now, I've got this set on normal at the moment, and prices are pretty good, I have to say, across the board. They're, about normal, nothing, over the top. And the silo at the main farm is 100,000 litre capacity, and we do start off with some crops in there already, which we're finding a lot more on maps now. It's very unusual to start a map without anything in there at all. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a wander up the track here. Now, while we are wandering up the track here, so we're kind of heading north. Well, we're not kind of, we are heading north up into what's considered, I guess, the main farm. So we can have a look at what we start with. And something else I want to point out that I missed off one of my previous ones, is this. If we go in and we check our garage, and like I say, this is on New Farmer. I'm going to scroll right the way across. So I'll start machinery. That says top right hand corner 946 slots out of 1299. So if you start on New Farmer and you start with all the equipment this gives you, you're already a big chunk into your slot count allowance. If you're playing on console, if you're playing on PC, it doesn't affect you. However, if you play on Farm Manager or Start from Scratch mode and you don't have anything, you've only used, the map itself is using 507 slots out of the 1299, which gives you a bit more leeway. I mean, you're looking at what, they're 792 slots you've got available at that point. And there's a reason why this is eating up quite a big chunk, so I'll show you. We start with the Fendt Favorite. We've got the 7230 TX32, HW80 trailer, header for the TX32, small plough, small cultivator, power harrow, couple of seeders, one for your regular grain type crops and one of your planter. And we've got a fertilizer herbicide sprayer, front loader, and forks. We've got a header trailer, a weight. Mine's gone blank now. These are I assume done by Dark Freak. They may be done by someone for Dark Freak, but these are ones that are added in. So we've got a cow pasture, we've got a pig enclosure, we've got a sheep pasture, horse paddock is the in-game one, chicken coop is the in-game one, and then we've got a grain silo. Like I said, the grain silo will hold 100,000 litres. That will only hold those crops. It will hold your main cereal crops, and corn and sunflower and stuff like that. It won't hold things like hay and straw and grass and sugar beet and all those kind of things. It's just your main usual crops. You do start with a hay loft on New Farmer. You do have a bunker silo medium, double one, but this is where it gets a bit odd. We've got 5 wood sheds We've got a workshop. Now this is their own one as well, and this is kind of gives you that strip, so you can kind of put it in front of any shed or whatever you want to, and it gives you the little logo thing, which is fantastic. We've got a farm barn where we are now, and then we've got 5 farmhouses. Now there's this kind of 2 ways of looking at this. One, you only need 1 farmhouse. If it's just you playing, you probably only need 1. I don't know why you would need 5. However, this map's kind of set up with almost multiplayer in mind, I think. So we'll go back and then we'll have a look at the main map in a second. So that's why we're eating into a big chunk. I say a big chunk of slots. I suppose once you've placed the first one, it's not really too bad, but you could sell all that off and you could do all right if you're starting on a new farmer. Anyway, so that's all the equipment and stuff you start with. So if we go back out and we come into the map again, you'll see why. This is the main farm where we start, and you start with a farmhouse here. You also start here with the cows, and you've got your chickens here, which we're going to have a look at in a minute. If we come all the way down to the bottom here, we've got a kind of placeable area here where you've got another farmhouse and you've got your horses. If we go, that's in the southeast corner. If we go to the southwest corner here, we've got another placeable area with a farmhouse and the pigs. So all the animals are kind of spread out. That said, you don't have to have them there. You can have them wherever you want. That's the beauty of placeables and the new map system and that kind of thing. We've got another one here with a farmhouse, and then right up the top here in the northeast corner we've got another farmhouse and the sheep. So did I say sheep at the bottom? Pigs at the bottom. Northeast we've got the sheep. So they're kind of spread out. So realistically you've got 5 farms already kind of pre-placed on these placeable points. So if you were playing multiplayer, you've got an established setup already. That said, you can get rid of all of those and you can put wherever you want on those placeables, or if you wanted to, you can have everything you want at your main farm. If you can fit it all in, that's up to you. So as far as what you start with at your main farm, if we click on this menu here, we start here with field 70 and 9 in our main farm area. We have field 4, field 8, and weirdly, I don't know why, all the way over here we've got field 34. That's what you start with. Field prices, I have to say, are pretty good. If we click back on there, 79,000 for field 24. Let's find a little small one, field 5 here, little strip, 40,000. Biggest field on the map I think is field 57. That's 697 grand, but it's a fair size. So there's a real mixture here of, we've got grass fields, normal fields, small, medium, large, but they're all quite close together. I like this map a lot, but there's a couple of little things which are lovely features. However, I think during prolonged gameplay could become a bit niggly, and I'm just being completely honest there. So we'll go around the map. We're going to do a kind of spiral. We're going to start at the main farm. We're going to go out this way, then we're going to go up and round, down the other side, and kind of spiral out across the bottom. So we're going to do a kind of spiral. You'll see what I mean. Anyway, let's get on with this tour, shall we? So we've got the barn there, and we've got our main farmhouse of the 5. So we go to this. Obviously we're not tired yet, so it's not going to let me do anything there. As we come a bit further north, we've got a workshop just to the left, and then we've got our silo placed just here. So you've got this kind of their own version of the silo. I quite like the fact you've got a kind of barn space with the actual unload placed there, then the silo bit to the side. I think that's really nice. Hayloft just there, and the double silo, bunker silo just in front of us. It's a nice one, this. It's got a real nice weathered kind of look to it. Yeah, pretty cool. I like the fact it's kind of got earth piled up to the side, so it's not your standard kind of bunker silo. And then your chicken coop just here. As we go through into the larger kind of more the placeable area itself, we've got your harvester, and we've got a couple of these wood sheds with a bit of our machinery in. But this is quite a large placeable area, so like I say, if you're starting on a new farm or start from scratch, you've got plenty of room here, plenty of scope really for whatever you want to do with it, which is really nice. Now here we've got their own version of the cow shed. Doors and stuff open. I don't know if that one does. Oh, it does as well. Does that one open as well? Oh, it does. How cool is that? That's really smart. I like that. It's a really good one. It's quite a few slots. I think it's 30 something slots for the first one to place, but it's really cool. I like this. Nice feel to it. I like this as well. You haven't got milk churns. You've got an actual kind of point you come to for collecting your milk to take for sale. And then if we open that up here, we've got our silos. Did I open the gate at the other end as well when I did that? Did that do both at the same time? Oh, it does, yeah. You just catch it as it goes at the end. It opens both at the same time. So you've got your feed trough, your straw, and then we come round right the way through, and we've got our water trough round the side here. So that's, you know, that's the dairy farm part of it, with your chickens up round the side. I'm going to grab the Fent, I think, because it's a nice, fairly quiet vehicle for getting around the map. It'll go at 32, so it's not too shabby, and we'll get round as much as we can. So let's just connect that. We're going to come out of the main yard, like I say, and do a kind of spiral. So we're going to come out of the yard now, and just very briefly go south, and then we're going to go west out across the map. Now, like I said, there's like, it's non-specific about where it is. I get the kind of feel it's kind of Holland, maybe, because it's kind of quite flat, but the river up the middle is more like a canal. I kind of almost get the feeling maybe like the Rhine, like you get the river kind of plains, like floodplains along the Rhine, that kind of feel. You know, I'm not 100% certain, but so these are the fields 4 and 8. There's a tiny little sliver of a field there, and 8 that you start off with, and we come to the first of our sell points. What is interesting on this map as well, which is unusual, well, not unusual, but which is different at the moment. For a lot of maps that are getting released, we do have seed and fertiliser points already on the map, which a lot of the maps coming out haven't. So this is the cooperative sell point, just here. And if we go around here, we've got a seed refill point, and this is your wool sale. So this is wool sale just here. So if your wool and your cotton, it's just in here in this little building, tucked right in the corner. If we come round, this big silo here is a lime sell point just there. What we're going to do now is come back out of here. Now, the niggly thing I was talking about, and you're going to see later on, I think, how much you could find it annoying. This map, I get the feeling, although you've got some quite large fields, is aimed primarily at small farm equipment. You know, they're fairly small fields. There's some medium ones and some large ones, but the prices aren't too mad, which is great. But the tracks are quite narrow. A lot of them are tree lined, which look, like I say, it looks fantastic. As far as the map goes, it looks brilliant, and I really like that. That said, I think manoeuvring articulated lorries around when you start getting to like bigger offloads and stuff like that, it may get a little bit trickier, because this is taking us now to the BGA. So we've just gone south, and we're heading east a little bit into the BGA, and this is tight. You know, you're going to have to really think about it and be careful with your driving. It's not going to be a bang around with massive machinery type map. But at the BGA, we've got 2 big old bunker silos just there. We've got our anaerobic digester tucked away in the corner here. I like the fact it's different. Does that open? Oh, it does. Oh. That it's different. It's not that kind of standard look. Here's your BGA wallop. Enjoy. You know, I like the fact that's tucked away under the cover. I think that's really cool. I do prefer my digester's floor level, but you know, it doesn't really matter. And then over here we've got our digestate tank. So when you've sold your silage and other bits and bobs, the digestate made as a byproduct comes into this tank just here. That's your BGA. Now I apologise if I appear to be rattling through some of the journey. Bear with me 1 second. Sorry, I had automatic engine start in the wrong thing. So, back out from the BGA and back out up into the main road, and we're going to carry on heading west across the map. So, back out onto the main road. Now, we're coming to the river now, and this is another feature I think is just... I really like it. These bridges are amazing, and there's 3 or 4 of them that go across. What's also really cool, and we've just timed this perfectly, going down the river, the canal, you've got these barges. Now I know you get traffic on maps and trains and things like that. That's a brilliant feature. I really like that. It adds a bit of dynamism to the map. It makes it feel, you know, more alive, you know. That's a really cool feature. I do like that. I like the fact you have to come up and over these bridges as well. That's a really nice feature too. There is a railway line we're going to get to later on. Again, you can't use the railway, but again, it's another nice feature that makes the map feel more alive. And it's not just traffic going around the map. There are people wandering around as well, which is fantastic. There are little tracks that go all over the place, and like I say, the fields all kind of bounce one onto the other. Left on here, we've got our sawmill. We've got our unload point for wood chips here. Now if we come through here, now I'm really hoping, I haven't tested this, but I really hope so. We've got our unload point for our timber here, but it looks like we've got a mill pond. We haven't had a mill pond on 19 yet, have we? I don't think we have. We had a few on FS17. The fact we've got a slope here, I really do hope it is, because I do like me a mill pond. So normally you just bring your lumber along here in your trailer or whatever, go to this point, click on it, and it will sell it. But with the mill pond, usually you can tip or unload or drive back into it, and it will sell the lumber in the mill pond itself, which is normally quite cool. Like I say, I haven't tested that. It may just be a kind of feature that looks nice, but I really do hope it is. Anyway, that's your sawmill. And I went the wrong way on the... I showed you which way you're supposed to go along on the inside. So, continuing west, we're almost on the western edge. So, next little bit I want to point out that I really like. Again, we've got these little tracks. We've got a kind of, say, drainage ditch. It's another little river, water source running down the map. Smaller one, which I think is great. It's the kind of view distance, the map edge. They haven't done what a lot of map makers are doing at the moment and extending it out to, you can't actually get to it, but it's there. They've kind of put that backdrop on, but that backdrop does look really cool. You know, I know it's a little bit blurry and people will go, oh, it doesn't look that good, but it just gives it a nice feel. You get that impression the map continues on, you know, and that's a nice look. Now, this is what I'm talking about, possible niggly points. Down to our left, to our south, there's a little gas station, petrol station, fuel station, whatever you want to call it. If we go this way, north a little bit, we've got some sell points off to our left. And this is, like I say, again, with larger machinery, vehicles, articulated lorries, this is tight. This is actually really quite tight indeed. You've got a seed refill point just off to the left there, and then we come up here for smaller machinery, and again, depending on what you're going to be using, I can see this being a lot of fun. A really nice map to play on, especially if you're doing multiplayer and stuff like that. I think it'd be absolutely fantastic. So we've got a sell point around here, and this is West Ag. It's on the western side of the map, and that's your West Ag sell point. But I say, getting back out again, it's tight. It's, you know, there's no two ways about it. It's going to be threading the needle with some vehicles. So that's West Ag. Let's continue on back out onto the main road, and we're going to head north. So just on our left hand side here, we've got another one of those placeable points which has got a farmhouse on it. There's nothing else on this one, just a farmhouse, but again, that's one of those ones you could sell if you want to. And there's a wood store there just to the left, or a little shelter. It's down as wood store, but shelter. Something worth mentioning as well, hedges don't have collisions on them, so you can drive through the hedges if you wanted to. And there are a couple of forests, again purchasable, not huge, but if you want to do a bit of forestry, we'll just have a quick look. Let's go to the map again. You've got one here, if we zoom in a bit, and you've got this one up here with a little bit kind of there. There's a tiny little bit on the main farm, there's a little bit of woodland just there, but not a huge amount. And prices, what we're looking at, 306, I suppose. Yeah, no, quite pricey. And that one's 499,000. Oh yeah, that was the other thing, the BGA we just looked at. If you have to own the BGA, it's not cheap. This one's 382,000. I just thought I'd mention that while we're kind of whizzing around. But I can't help, I don't know what it is, I like it. It's a nice, it is unique, it's different. There's a nice mix between kind of open spaces. There are points where it is quite tight and narrow, but then you've got a mix, you've got fences and there are hedges, and you know, it's a real good balance between everything. Little tracks going off all over the place. I do like the small river and the large river, very nice indeed. So heading up here, now this is I drove past this the first time I was kind of whizzing around the map. The turning is just here. It's not very big. Again, kind of narrow. But this takes us up to the next sale point, which is the harbour. And I like this again. There's some really cool bits on this map. Some really nice features that for me kind of make it. They really do kind of make the map. So this is your harbour with your harbour sell point. There's nothing else up here but the harbour sell point, which is just here, which is all very lovely. There's your harbour sell point. What we have got is a huge barge just here, which is kind of docked. Now what I'm going to do is just jump up on here and up onto the barge and look at that. That is a simple little thing, but because it's the harbour, that's your kind of inlet, whether it goes out to a fjord or an open sea. You get the kind of feeling it's off round the corner, it opens out, or whichever way it's going to go, probably that direction I would imagine, considering all the land kind of slopes down that way, or out onto the bigger river itself. But that's a nice little touch. I like that. And the barges, I get the feeling, because this is the main river that runs north-south, kind of come in the top end and they run right the way down and out the other end. But yeah, it's a nice feature. I like that a lot. It's not a big thing, but to me it just kind of, it's a nice feature. One of those ones that you probably wouldn't necessarily notice unless you're particularly looking for it or anything like that. But I just thought I'd point that out. Right, so back out. We're going to go back over the river. So hopefully as we come over here there'll be a barge now coming along. It seems to be as soon as you turn your back they appear. Let's have a look. There you go, just come in. See, I like that. Makes it dynamic, brings it to life. Cool. Nice touch. Anyway, right, back down the other side and carrying on eastward. I need to find the right turning point here. So we're almost on the eastern side of this map now, and we're up to the next sell point. So if we turn left here, I think it is. Again, quite narrow. There's lampposts and trees and things kind of lining a lot of these roads. So, heading up here, we will be coming to... This is MGE on your sell point list. This is the MGE, which is just there. That's the sell point. That's your lime station, just there. We have got a seed refill point just there. And we have got a fertiliser refill point just here. Now again, with the placeables and stuff available now, you might want to put a seed and fertiliser refill point right slap bang on your farm. That's entirely up to you, but there are plenty available. I haven't checked prices on those, but I would imagine they're a kind of standard thing, and depending on what you do with regard to your your economy, that may well change as well. So this is the next of those farm placeables. So you've got this placeable plot here, farmhouse there, a couple of those wood store shelter sheds, and this is your sheep enclosure. So if you want this to be your sheep farm, we are in the northeast corner of the map pretty much now. That's right up here. And before we finish on the northeast, I'm going to go across the grass, I do apologise. We have got the dairy just tucked away up here as well. That's your sell point if you're going to be selling milk, just up there. Now I will put a proviso in, as I often do. I'm doing a first look on this. I'm whizzing round. We're having a look at where sell points are and things like that. If you play the map, if you find that after an hour or you're a bit into it and find that a sell point's not working, or it might be you can't sell milk, or there may be a glitch or an issue of some description, I don't necessarily know that. Like I've said before, the more people that play on these maps, the more hours that get put into them. Any little issues or problems are going to become more obvious the more hours get played on them. I don't necessarily find those issues or problems when I'm doing a first look, so I apologise if you do come across something. It's just, it is what it is. So we're going to be heading now down the eastern side of the map to the next sell points. I'm going to see you there in a moment. There we have it. That's the train line that runs up the eastern side of the map, and the trains go along there quite frequently. Again, dynamic. makes it feel alive. That's what I was talking about earlier. Another thing I do like is this. It's a nice kind of touch. You only kind of get it on this part of the map, I think. Is you've got here, you've got your old windmill, and behind it you've got a modern wind turbine. It's a little thing. I just kind of noticed it as I drove across, and I thought that's kind of cool, isn't it? Old and new together, you know. Anyway, right. Next of our sale points. Now this is possibly for me the niggliest point of the map. This is. It doesn't seem like a major issue, but to me it just felt a little bit. You'll see what I mean. So, this is our main store for buying and selling. It's tucked down the side here. Is your buy point, and there's a cash point if you need to get a load of cash out to buy vehicles. Obviously, you can do it from your main menu like that anyway, but if you want to do it with a bit more realism, that's entirely up to you. If you were to buy an item, it spawns along here. And if you reset a vehicle for any particular reason, you end up in the river or upside down or something like that, it resets to here, not to the main farm, it resets here. Obviously, because you can place farms wherever you want now, and sell farms and whatnot, a lot of the map makers are putting the reset points at the store because they don't know where you've decided you're going to put your farm, so resetting it somewhere might not be particularly helpful. Configuration of vehicles, repair of vehicles can be done around the corner here, if you want to go for that kind of realism thing as well. So, now this is the bit that's a little bit... What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the map very quickly. So we are at the moment, we are here at the shop. Now, we have got the shop, we've got country trade sell point, we've got a garden centre with fertiliser, and we're going to get to that in a second. We've got the animal dealer down here, and then we've got agraria. Now if you look at where the road is, the road runs down here, like so. And the railroad runs up here. Now there's no other way of getting across to any of these sell points other than at the top here and all the way down. Is there one down? No, I don't even think there's one down the bottom here. You'll see what I mean when we get down there. I'm going to end up probably cutting across the grass, I'll be honest with you. So what we do is we come back out of where we just came in and we run right down the back here. So it might be you're driving down the main road and you're looking for the entrance to all these sell points, you have to come round the back, right down here. So you follow it down the back of the store, and you've got a sell point just there, and it's round the other side of the building, which we'll just whiz round very, very quickly too. So the sell point is just round there. What was that? Country trade. Oh, apologise, park curb. Country trade. And then we've got down here we've got a little garden centre which has got seed, fertiliser, refill point, but what it's also got, again, a lot of map makers are including these now. We've got seed refill just in there. Oh, is it in there? Hang on. Could be seed refill here, I can't remember now. Might be there. Yeah, there's the hazard strip mark. Around the back of that little building there, if you drive round, there's fertiliser, but we've got a manure purchase point. Now I don't know, because I've only checked this with a trailer, whether or not you can do slurry here as well. Like on Alien Jim's map, when I backed the trailer up, it gave me the option to buy manure. So if you want to buy manure, it's here. It may well be it does slurry as well. I haven't found a slurry point, and it's interesting to me that a lot of map makers are now including a manure purchase point, but not a slurry one. I know Jim has on his, you can do both. And I know Holger Senstock bought out the manure purchase point, but hasn't bought out the slurry purchase point yet. So I don't know, yeah, maybe it does. But some nice little features, like a little pond on the left hand side here, and a little walkway around. So as we continue on down here, there's a little, is it a diner? Yeah, a little diner type thing. And this is the only way to get to these points. All the way down the back of here, and we come all the way around. That's no entry, that's the exit to this next bit, and now we turn in here. And this is what I mean about it being a little bit... It's a lovely feature, I like it, but I can see, like I say, with prolonged play, it's going to become a little bit niggly, a little bit frustrating, and possibly a little bit annoying. What I'm going to do is go to this one first. Actually, let's do this one first. We turn up here. We've got our animal dealer. You can see the railway line just there. Our animal dealer is just here, tucked away. If we jump out, that's how we can buy our animals. And have them directly done, or with a trailer, we can do it like that. Now I know that sign behind me says one way. I know I'm ignoring that, but don't worry. It will all be okay. I'll pay any fines I need to pay. Very conscious of time. I'm trying to get around as quickly as I can. So go across the railway, like so. And we come around here, and this is another one of our sell points. This is Agraria. So this is tucked right around here. Now with this fencing to the left-hand side, for me, what would have been more helpful, I think, would have been an exit point here, back out to the main road. Like I say, it's a tiny thing. It doesn't seem like much, but I think that's Lime Point just there, and then we come back around across the railway to that point that I said was no entry, which brings us back out again. But the problem we've got now is we then have to drive all the way back up past all those sell points back up to the store to get back up to the main road. That's going to get old really quick, I think. So what I'm going to do very quickly is just nip across. I know you shouldn't do this. Don't do this at home, kids. Just nip across the railway and out onto the main road, just because it's a little bit quicker. Anyway, so heading south down the eastern side. Oh, that was close. BGA is off to our right, just there, which is what we looked at earlier. So I like the fact, and I know people are divided on this, I like different sorts of fields. I like the fact you have to farm, you know, because a lot of these fields on a lot of these new maps go right up to the field edge. It's not always easy to hire a worker. You have to do a bit of work yourself before you can get to a point where you can set a worker off. And I know a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people prefer the fact they can just have a massive field squared off they go with the worker. I like different shaped fields. I like the fact that it feels, I say more natural, it's not, because there are parts of the world, all over the world, where they've got massive open spaces and fields are pretty much square or rectangular. I totally get that. Personally, I do like a shaped field. Anyway, we are coming into a whole mess of different sell points and bits and bobs here. Well, I say sell points. There's one sell point which is just here. This is the grain mill. I think it's the grain mill. I'm just going to double check that. Where are we? Don't know. Yeah, grain mill. We've got a lime station, seed and fertilizer sell point here as well. So like I say, there's a fair bit going on. I think the fertilizer sell point, buy point, sorry. If I've been saying sell point every time, I do apologise. The buy point there's a petrol station, fuel station just across there. We've got the sell point just here, and there's seed refill it's around here somewhere. There's a seed refill point just over there. So there's quite a lot going on in this little bit. Again, fairly tight to get in and out of. I mean, this bit's not too bad for turning vehicles around, but I can see that the kind of main entrance in. I'm not going to. Sorry, I don't keep going about it. I'll stop. It's kind of obvious. You're not blind. You can see what I'm saying. You know, it's all there right in front of you. Which brings us down to our second to last placeable point, farm location. This is right down here in our southeast corner of the map. So we've got a farmhouse there. We've got one of the woodshed shelters just there, and this is the horse paddock, right slap bang on a load of tarmac. But again, it's those options that you can do whatever you want with it. Set it all off, use it, don't use it, grass it. You know, with the landscape tool now, you can do whatever you like, can't you? So make it into another pasture. It's entirely up to you. So what we're going to do now is head from here, from the eastern side of the map, right across the western side of the map. So I'm going to kind of cut that bit out because that's going to take a little bit of a drive. We are going to go across another one of the bridges. We might even see another barge coming across, but we are going to go from the southeast corner to the southwest corner, which will take us to the last of our placeable points that we saw on the map. I shall see you there momentarily. I need to make sure I don't miss the turning because it's quite small. Here we go, just on the left hand side. Farm dog agrees, shouldn't miss the turning. Just here. We follow this all the way down and we'll come to the last of our placeable points. I don't know, for me, I do like this map. It's a really nice kind of feel to it. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and again, like I said before, that's my opinion. I'm looking over it. You guys are watching this as well. You'll formulate your own opinion based on what you see and what you think about it, as is your right as a human being. So, we are now in the south west corner of the map, get that right, and we have got the farmhouse placed just over there, the 5th of our 5 farmhouses. We've got our pigs, or our pig enclosure, just down here, and then we have got a wood shelter, and then we've got the for the manure for the pigs, the manure silo type thing. And that's it. That's the map. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a whole load of stuff in the middle, obviously, which we haven't kind of looked at. We haven't been into the forest and stuff. We've been around all the main kind of sell points, buy points, fertilizer and manure and everything. There's a lot of really nice features. I like the canal down the middle. I like the barges going along it. I like the other smaller river. The bridges look cool. You know, there are some really nice details. I like the dynamic nature of having the train running up the map every now and again. The bit at the top with the harbour, I really do like that. Sorry, I'm moving around the wrong stick. But this bit here, this bit down the side is my only kind of one niggle, I guess. It may seem like a small thing, and people go, "Oh, I don't know what you're moaning about." But like I say, I can see that getting quite frustrating after a while. But I suppose with a bit of, I don't know, a bit of landscaping, maybe you could do something and put yourself a little crossing in. I don't know. It's entirely up to you. But that's it from me. That's the map. I hope you've enjoyed the map tour. If you found it useful and informative in some way, shape or form, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest, whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.